So how can we ever forget the catastrophic Cedar Fire, the largest fire in California's recorded history, which ravaged the San Diego area in late 2003? This morning we have a woman here who survived the fire and talks about her near-death experience. And Sandra Millers Younger joins us. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Linda.
Just even reading up about it just reminds me so much of that day and covering this in the news and how really catastrophic it was. I can't even imagine it from your standpoint, but you actually just wrote a book that's coming out in September in time for the 10th anniversary of this, called The Fire Outside My Window.
That's right.
My goodness. Well, the reviews on this have been talking about, it's a much broader perspective. It talks all about your experience and then kind of what you should and shouldn't do. And you know, this is kind of timely because we have this Chariot fire that's near Julian. And I think, I don't know if you feel this way, but every time a fire happens in the county, we all kind of step back and go, oh my gosh.
We're all so nervous.
Is this going to be the one? I think we have some shots of it, but it's at 4,700 acres, just to give people a quick update, and 15% contained. There you go. We've got something like 1,400 firefighters working on this as we speak. So now the one, the Cedar Fire, we know all too well how this one can wreak havoc. And just looking at the statistics, it's remarkable how much damage and how many lives were lost in this.
Yes, we had, between the Cedar and the Paradise Fire, which was burning simultaneously, we lost almost 2,500 homes, and even worse, 17 people were killed, 12 of them my own neighbors.
So you had 12 in your own, you were in Wildcat Canyon.
Wildcat Canyon near Verona.
Talk about your experience when you were seeing this unfold, because we hadn't seen anything like that, of that magnitude.
Well, we were oblivious. We weren't paying attention to what was going on. We weren't alert. We thought we were savvy about fire danger, but we really weren't. And we happened to wake up in the middle of the night and see flames outside our window, which gave me the name of my book.
Yeah, so you saw this outside of your window. What happened next? What did you do? And did you kind of understand at that point how serious the situation was?
Oh yes, we understood at that point. What we did was we ran for our lives. We grabbed our dogs, our cockatiel, a few pictures off our dressers. I dumped them in a laundry basket, and we just ran. We drove out. Now through flames.
Now there's flames, there's smoke and everything, and I understand from one little tidbit that I read that there was a bobcat that actually guided you.
There was a bobcat. God bless that bobcat. We were leaving our home. Fire was all around. It had come up to our home by this point, and I was driving because my husband couldn't find his car keys. So we hit the smoke, and it was pea soup, like when you're in an airplane and you can't, in a cloud, and you can't see anything, and I could not see the road. And at that instant, this bobcat jumped out of the brush, landed right in front of my headlight, and then shot off into the smoke. And I followed him because somehow I knew he was on the road, and that's how I found the road, going down a very steep mountain road cut into the side of a mountain.
Oh my goodness. So so then this fire, just to give people an idea, just to look back, 280,000 acres, and then killing, what was it, 17 people? 17 people between the two fires. 15 in the Cedar Fire. Now this is kind of a broader account, this book. What made you decide, after this was all over, your house is destroyed, everything, you know you have to rebuild, and you know how close you came to actually losing your life? We did. So, but this is kind of a perspective from firefighters, from homeowners. What made you want to write it? I'm a writer. I'm a journalist. And when people ask me why I wrote it, my reply is because I couldn't not write it. To me, it was the perfect firestorm with all of these conditions coming together at an inopportune time, and then a lost hunter lighting a signal fire. So I felt that it was my mandate coming out of the fire to do this, to tell the whole story, not just my part of it, and to pay tribute to those we lost, because they're not here to tell their story. And you also have some tips to survive this, and then also mistakes that you can make. What are a couple of the points that you really want to get out to people? Well, let's talk about the 4 mistakes that can cost you your life in a natural disaster. Mistake number 1 is ignoring red flags. If I had just looked at the Union Tribune that morning, I would have known, the morning the Cedar Fire started, that fire danger was critical. But I didn't. I was oblivious. And the next thing I knew, my house was gone, my neighborhood was gone, my neighbors had died in the fire. Mistake number 2 is failing to plan.
as I mentioned, when we woke up and saw flames outside our window, we couldn't even find my husband's car keys. So thank God we had my car. Mistake number 3 is depending too much on the authorities. We never got an official evacuation notice because the fire was just too big and moving too fast. So if you wait on the authorities, you may not get out in time. They will be overwhelmed. And mistake number 4, and this is the biggie, is waiting too long to leave.
Okay, yes. Well, you have that. You have a lot of other tips in this. This book is coming out in September. It's called The Fire Outside My Window. Sandra Millers Younger, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We hope you come back maybe during
Thanks
the
so
anniversary.
much.
We can talk again.
I would love to. Thank
All right.
you for having me.
And we'll have the information linked to our website. Nice talking with you.
Thank you.